Chicago Fire Department, Eli Bosnick speaking. Oh, there's a fire. Cool. Where at? Ooh, State and Lake. Okay, one question. Sorry, I know you're in a rush. How big is it? One city block. That's actually not what I meant. I mean, does it look hot? No, fire is hot, dum-dum. I'm just asking if, like, it looks like when I'm near it, if I'll be hot. See, I'm wearing these rubber pants, and they get uncomfortable, but if it's... Okay, that sounds unpleasant. Okay, one more question. Sorry, I know. Is there a bathroom nearby? Well, when I run the hose, I have to go a lot, and I don't want to have to get back in the truck and come all the way back here. So if there's like a oh, maybe I can work something out with the Starbucks across the street then. Oh, I just remembered. Is there like a doggy park near the fire? Well, because Madge is our fire pug, and I just wanted to make sure she has enough room to scamper, while we're... Okay, well, how about a dog run then? Fenced off area? Honestly, I think we're going to have to pass then. Yeah, I know, I'm upset too. I just don't think I can help you. We'll let another station take care of it. Well, am I the first place you called? Shop around a little, Jesus.
Hey, Eli, who was that?
Nobody.
Thanks for coming tonight, everybody. That's the show.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Citation Needed live in Chicago. Wow. As you may know, this is the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts because this is the internet, and that's how it works now. This isn't really the internet, by the way. This is live, just in case. This is just a line. I'm No Illusions. I'm going to be dumping sand and baking soda on this grease fire of an episode in a desperate attempt to smother these guys and contain the damage. Joining me today, first of all, are two men who could supply all of colonial America with lamp oil if rendered, Heath and Eli.
Excellent. For me, it's more olive oil than lamp. So, I'll just, when I'm sweaty, I'll wipe myself off with extra bread, and that's,
That's a good plan.
my after-meal snack right there. Okay. I get sweaty when I eat.
Hey, last people that tried to turn me into a lamp are in D.C. right now being given sympathetic think pieces by the New York Times. So, yeah, I guess go for it. Try to turn me into a lamp 40 years from now. We'll ask whether or not people are too mean to you on the internet or something.
All right, so we made it 5 minutes before our first Holocaust joke. High five. Good. Thank you, sir.
I get cookies after the show.
And also joining me tonight are two men who have blamed more than their fair share of sins on farm animals, Cecil and Tom.
I just want to point out two things. One, this crowd screamed... Fucking this
Right.
guy.
That's
This
right.
guy.
God damn it.
Security. I just want to point out two things. First is this crowd screams so loud they knocked the fucking lint off the fucking seat.
Yes.
A few moments ago.
Yes.
That's number one. Number two, what can I say? It was a heavy petting zoo.
I consider it something of an achievement turning a scapegoat into a fainting scapegoat. So, I had it coming.
All right, so before we really begin mocking the tragic history of this fine city, we need to pause for a moment of gratitude. Just because this is live doesn't mean we're not going to ask you for money. Your support.
More money.
Now, this is you guys in the theater and, of course, the patrons listening at home. You guys make this possible for realsies. It is more than a little incredible that we actually get to do this for a living, and we have you to thank for that. And if we didn't... Yes, absolutely. Because
Thank you for your money.
And, I mean, the other option is real jobs, and we're not qualified for those.
No.
So while we sit here on stage tonight, we know that we only have the honor of entertaining you because you let us. And unlike some entertainers We appreciate your consent, and some of us even require it. But don't worry, we'll be sure to send the traditional mix of thank you cards and apology flowers after the show. And with that out of the way, tell us, Heath, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about the first great Chicago fire. Yeah.
One.
Yep. Fire! Yeah. And relax.
I want Cheery Guy in row 2 to just do that for everything we say. Like, yeah! 240 deaths!
Wow.
Okay, now I'm scared. All right,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, speaking of which, we're also going to try to keep Eli from starting the second one. Most likely by shitting soy diesel and then like rubbing your thighs together too hard or whatever happens when you shit. Yeah. Spark it. You have dry thighs. Can I give you that note?
So, all right, and so, Tom, for some reason, we've entrusted you with writing the essay for the live show.
Bad call. I know.
All right, so apparently we'll look into that egregious administrative error privately after these guys aren't here. But are you ready to kick over this lamp and blame the Irish?
Noah blaming the Irish is how I start every morning.
Wait, Tom, aren't you Irish?
Oh, very much so.
All right, no, that explains a lot. Okay, all right.
Every 1 inch.
So, all right, so tell us, Tom, tell us all about that time that Chicago and great appeared next to each other in a sentence.
Ouch.
Yes, boo him. Boo him. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm on their side. Boo! Boo! I'm on your side. Boo!
'Twas the great pizza war of 19... No. I will happily tell you, Noah, because that's what I wrote down. Happily, Noah.
Yep.
The Great Chicago Fire incinerated a little over 3 square miles of Chicago and burned from Sunday, October the 8th, to Tuesday, October the 10th in 1871. Edit that out, Cecil. It's fine. They never heard it. Current estimates hold that same fire, if started today on the west side, could cause roughly dozens of dollars in damage.
So you know how it's sometimes better to like go with that let it burn policy for, wildfires in terms of long-term ecology? I feel like tonight shows a teachable moment for Rahm Emanuel. You know what I mean? It's like not the same when there's people. I need you to stop saying controlled burn, Rahm Emanuel.
They lit the West Side on fire today because the police were tired of shooting just individuals, and they decided on like a Dresden style solution.
It's exhausting.
We're busy here, guys.
We got a
We're doing
chili
a tour of the black
cook-off.
site right afterwards.
It's a white audience. It's fine. Oh, you are. Come on. Look at you.
There's what?
Yeah! Security!
We got
diversity.
two.
Different word.
Diverse
Here they
security.
are. In podcast terms, that is a blue wave. 2. No, that person's lying. I can't see them.
Can we maybe not?
By the way, we're
point?
friends now. I'm not racist.
Yeah.
I got one. One of the most hotly contested subjects, get that, of this topic always relates to how the fires started.
Yep, just like our production meetings.
Yeah, true. The fire originated in or around a small barn belonging to the O'Leary family, and the most commonly held belief is that the fire was started by a cow, which is supposed to have kicked over a lantern.
Wait. Unless the cow's like a master of jump kicks, I think I'd blame this on bad lantern placement.
Fawn Claude Van Damme.
Shit tits.
Shit tits.
Now, the O'Leary family denied that the fire was started by their cow, by their cow, and they claimed as evidence that the family was asleep when the fire began.
Okay, but unless somebody's fucking the cow, I don't see how that's an excuse.
Did we say nobody was fucking the cow? Did you read ahead in this? No? All right. This argument, when taken against the evidence that the O'Leary family were poor, were Irish, and were Catholic, did not convince the public.
Yeah, that actually tracks. I started a forest fire with my poor Irish friend when we were 6, and we super duper lied about it all the way. His dad was a firefighter. It was no good. It was no good. Did they blame it on a different ethnic group in this case?
Jesus.
We super duper did that too. We were assholes. The worst.
Well,
I used to be a racist, everybody. When I was 6.
Used to. That's good. Earlier this evening. So before the fire was even out, the newspapers were already circulating, blaming the O'Learys for their role in the conflagration, even though the reporter that wrote the story itself later retracted his claims and admitted to fabricating the whole thing.
Yeah, and the cow just followed around going, fake moose. Moose.
All right. Maybe I'm missing something, but I feel like the newspapers distributed before the fire was out would be really hard to read.
That's
Right?
a motivated newsie, though,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Extra, extra, please, it burns.
Another theory holds that the fire was actually started by the first guy who reported it, evidently presumed under the he who smelt it dealt it theory. Now, in this one, the fire was started by, and I am not making this up, Daniel Pegleg Sullivan. Right? Who's supposed to have accidentally started the fire by setting fire to hay while stealing milk.
What? No, I get it. He's milking the cow. He's letting his one leg rub against the stool. No, I can see it.
Okay, but now I want to really meet this out-of-work pirate talking about his plan for a new job. Like, all right, I'm really interested in fire and milk. So what could I do with that?
The fire actually started because the stray sparks when he hot-wired the cow. And by the way, hot-wiring a cow means something totally different in Indiana. It's a different
Evansville.
procedure.
Don't clap for that.
Yes.
Don't clap for
Yes.
that. This is on you now. Now, the theory that I'm betting on is the whole thing was started by a group of gamblers. This theory holds that a man named Lewis Cohn, his son, and some neighbor kids knocked over a lantern after Mrs. O'Leary chased them out of the barn while they were playing craps. Cohn is reported to have paused long enough to scoop up the money before fleeing. He also signed a confession, which he bequeathed to the Medill School of Journalism upon his death.
Craps in a barn? What the fuck? They're like, Horsey needs a new pair of shoes, guys.
Wait, he bequeathed it upon his... And to the media, I leave the truth. Like 40 years too late. You're welcome, Jews.
The most far-out theory is that the fire was started by a meteor shower. A physicist, Robert Wood, suggested that a comet known as Biela's comet broke up over the Midwest. And eyewitnesses reported seeing balls of fire in the sky that day, and fires did break out in 4 other places in the Midwest. And while this might sound plausible at first, it isn't. There's some science stuff about the composition of meteors and the gases in them and the plausibility of methane as a source for these fires, but most experts agree this is all just a lot of hot air.
Hot air. I get it.
I'm as embarrassed as you are right now.
So, shit tits. So, the long and short of all that science-y stuff, by the way, is that meteors don't start fucking fires. So this is ever so slightly more plausible than the Eli farted into a wormhole and lit it theory. But might as well give it its due.
Okay, Noah, if you want to accuse me of what happened to the couch, just do it. But I have told my side of the story. Your cat has told his side of the story. I leave it in your hands.
All right, so there's no general consensus about how the fire started, but no matter how it got going, it fucked things up pretty thoroughly. Now, building fires in crowded cities are obviously never good news, but at this point in Chicago, there really wasn't a possibility for worse news because Chicago had evidently not gotten the memo from the Three Little Pigs, and they built the whole fucking city out of wood. The whole thing. And then they roofed the place with match heads. Like, seriously. Like, 2/3 of all the structures were made not partly, but entirely out of wood. And most of the buildings were then topped with tar.
lots of those buildings actually fell faster than gravity.
Didn't happen.
So, and tar does not burn that hot. What really happened, Jewish people?
Pivoting off that, all those Jewish cows were out to pasture that day too.
Yeah.
Look into it, sheeple.
Yeah.
Jew.
Oh, God.
I'll allow it.
And if that's not bad enough, they built the sidewalks out of wood. They built the roads out of wood.
What?
Prompting Chicago's first official city motto as the Strike Anywhere City.
So, yeah, we normally do the foundations with concrete, but I do have all these balled up newspapers.
Good call. It's a good call.
Maybe we use them first. Go green.
Y'all sure they don't make flammable clouds? All right, shit, we'll go with roads then.
Admittedly, though, a wooden road would have fewer potholes than Ashland Avenue.
That's true.
Smooth as silk. Chicagoans got that joke.
Towny jokes.
Now, compounding the problem of constructing a city out of gasoline-soaked Lincoln logs, the city was also in the midst of a drought, having received only 1 inch of rain from July 4th to October 9th. And the day had strong southwesterly winds, which would help blow flaming embers into the very heart of the city.
Wow. It's too bad the people in our episodes, like all the other ones,
Yeah.
they didn't get together, because this would have been great for like a whole shitload of molasses to just flood Chicago.
Right? Yeah.
That would have been great.
Yes.
Being ridden by T-Midge like the rocket from Dr. Strangelove.
He's just going to town with a vibrator. That's just always fun.
You're right.
Bunch of cocaine, always fun as well.
Yeah.
A race riot breaks out like in Nope. That was no.
Going south.
You're gonna lose us our two.
Maybe a family gets away with killing
John Benet.
No. Pass. All right, now, so still the city might have been okay, or less like apocalyptically not okay, if the night watchman, Matthias Schaefer, hadn't sent the city's firefighters to the wrong location.
For fuck's sake. I meant my left. Damn. Shit.
Okay, that's bad. But also if the fire alarm where the actual firefighters were hadn't failed to register. And if the firefighters themselves weren't exhausted from putting out other fires all over the city for the whole week before.
Yeah, and the previous week they posted the plans for 3D printed fire on the internet.
It's bad.
And just
Okay,
Everybody
but to
at
be
it.
fair to firefighters, that is definitely supposed to be a sometimes job. And back then, they did not have car accidents to stand around doing nothing. So, like, I brought a giant truck to make traffic worse.
Boo firefighters.
Are we con firefighters?
I only have to care about firefighters in one city. 9/11.
When these heroes, thank you, finally arrived on the scene, the fire had grown from being a small fire confined to a barn to a fire that had spread to the other buildings nearby and which was rapidly approaching the central business district.
Okay, I get what you're trying to do, Tom, but these ones weren't heroes. Okay, the ones in this story were not
Fair
heroes.
enough. That's fair.
I love that like it's rapidly approaching the center of the city, which is only a couple of blocks away from a cow and a barn. Right?
Different times.
the fire's coming towards the business district, and the business district's like averting its eyes, trying not to make contact. Like,
It's rolling down its window.
Fire's like, let me talk to you for a second.
I already bought a copy of Streetwise.
Am I being detained? Am I being detained?
Come on, we make fun of them. They're poor. We can do this.
Now, firefighters at this point were hoping that the fire would just hit the Chicago River and it would also encounter, and I am not making this up, guys, a fire break caused by a burnt out area from a previous fire. So the actual strategy was, at this point, to just hope it burned everything up to the point where everything had already been burned up before. And then we would just be out of things to be on fire. Problem solved. Licked it.
Wow, that's a lot like Trump's Middle East policy. Pretty similar. We just let that happen, just works itself out in payroll.
Admittedly, it's kind of a Chicago tradition, too, not to care about the blackened areas.
Woo!
Truth
Oh,
bomb.
but when I say it, it's a big deal.
Okay, wait, I know this is an old-timey story, but like the firefighters just didn't try. I know firefighter technology hasn't advanced past throw water at it ever. Feels like they would have given it a go. Like one guy's got a bucket and they're like, no, don't even.
All right, but okay, so for the record here, Tom, the eventually it'll run out of victim strategy did not work.
Oh, no. It very, very did not work. No. So, because the area along the river was basically a series of lumber yards and coal yards. For real. And warehouses presumably stocked with like sawdust and road flares. And then there were like wooden bridges spanning the river. Just over there now.
This whole fucking city's the third act of a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie or something, dude. Jesus.
So now the fire intensified and it became superheated, which means now the shit was so hot that things catch on fire not by contact with the actual flames, but from the radiant heat of the fire's proximity. That is not good news. No. Because now structures burst into flames and they sent their payload of fiery debris into the air, landing on roofs, and I shit you not, crossed the river and landed on the South Side Gas Works.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's going well.
Cersei Lannister just happened to store those hundreds of barrels of wildfire under there.
Danny's dragons fly over like, wow, that is irresponsible use of fire. Right? Also racist. Am I wrong? It feels racist.
You are not wrong. I was going to say.
Right? Right? Thank you. Thank you. So, you want to go burn down
Go
Michigan?
burn down
Go
Michigan!
burn down Michigan! Yes! Burn the
Ring high
shit out of
five.
it.
We're
We are
dragons.
dragons.
All right, well, Tom, I'm sure on the other side of the river there won't be a perfect storm of endless incompetence and bad luck, so let's take a quick breather for a little something we like to call apropos of nothing.
Today we begin the construction of the glorious city, which will be just as great as New York.
Indeed.
Absolutely. Yes, sure.
Just exactly as good.
All right. So, Sir Robert, on the roads committee, what have you got planned?
Oh, well, gentlemen, as you are aware, tar has gotten ever more expensive. Therefore, we've laid down a foundation of gunpowder at a greatly reduced cost. It's going to be a smashing hit.
Excellent, excellent. And Mr. Feng Hua from Building and Construction.
Yes, so
Why don't you have an Asian accent,
There's
Mr.
no reason
Feng Hua?
for the character to be Asian at this point. Get out of the sketch.
You get out of the sketch.
You
I'm
do
in the
this
sketch.
all the time. It's
I was
embarrassing.
mumbling.
Anyway, the buildings are made of wood soaked in gasoline for that nice, shiny look.
Oh, I like a good
Nice. They look good.
New York's way better than Chicago.
All right. And finally, Johnson from City Parks.
All right, gentlemen, hear me out. Dynamite trees.
Excellent idea. Why would we make them any other way?
I'm in the sketch.
All right. I think we all can agree that was awesome and none of us should feel ashamed of ourselves at all. So, Tom, I think you were telling us an uplifting story of the power of human spirit?
No, not even close.
Okay.
No. Nope. Everyone is now screwed.
Call back to our current political administration.
Right.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Call back to that.
The fire was now completely, wildly out of control and was rapidly threatening the heart of the city. The mayor, Roswell B. Mason, I love that, I want to be a mayor in old-timey Chicago,
right?
Sent messages to nearby towns for help, and then he ordered the evacuation of the courthouse and the prisoners in the basement.
Yeah, because fire's scary, but it can't rape you. I mean, let's up the ante here a bit.
All right, so at 2:30 a.m., just 5 hours after starting in the barn, the cupola of the courthouse collapsed. I have no idea if I said that right. The great bell came down, and the cacophony could be heard a mile away.
goodness gracious, great bells of fire.
Ouch.
Shit tips.
I love all the groaners in the audience. You guys are my people.
It escalated so fast, though. Like, I want to see that pirate just like, oh, shit, don't light up the whole barn. Ah, God. Just don't cross the bridge to cross the river. Ah, shit. Shit. Don't light up the thermite ghetto. Damn it. Motherfucker, to hit the thermite ghetto. Why do we have a thermite ghetto? That was so stupid. Bad city planning. Ah, don't knock over the big bell. Ah, clang, clang. Ah. Shit. It's like he's just standing there, sorry. Everybody's looking at him. The bell's still rolling like it knocked over a bowl at a funeral. Just like, it's like an infinite top. What the fuck?
He just turns to everyone, mousetrap.
So now is when shit really gets interesting, because the fire is so intense that a unique meteorological phenomenon began to occur. There were now fire whirls.
Yeah, and the award for the most cutesy name for a gyrating vortex of hellfire goes to...
Fire whirl. Basically, a flame tornado.
Oh, honey, look at me. I'm a tornado. What are those shoes? I'm going to suck you right out.
So these are created when superheated air rapidly rises, comes into contact with cooler air. No, we're sciencing. We're sciencing.
I wasn't doing anything.
Wait, do you want me to? I gotta go back.
I was listening to your interesting essay.
There's a script here. Gonna have to read it. Okay. Now these people have to hear that twice, and that's on you. These are created when superheated air rapidly... I'm doing this! I'm doing this! I wrote it down and you'll listen to me. I'm important and it hurts my feelings.
You gotta wipe his beard out now. Yeah.
Created when superheated gas rapidly rises, comes into contact with cooler air. These vortexes of flames and overheated gases are created, shooting flaming debris high into the air. And by debris, think of the kinds of shit that a tornado can pick up and throw. Now set that shit on fire. It was that awesome.
Yeah, no, but we call those California now. But yeah, no, back then, Chicago.
Mrs. O'Leary's cow flies by. I regret nothing.
Right.
Doppler effect on that one.
So that's impressive. Yeah. The flaming debris crossed the river again.
Like it forgot its fucking phone cord or something? What the hell?
Anna.
Gotta get a checklist. And fiery timbers landed on a railroad car of kerosene.
I'm calling bullshit at this point.
Right? You know what? Because fuck you. That's why.
Okay, maybe that car goes out early that day. No? Just that one asshole at work that day being a stickler about the schedule. Like, no, the train car full of fire extinguishers goes out first. It says it on the schedule. I don't know, dump the kerosene in the fucking river to be safe. Whatever.
So now the north side of the city is also on fire, and this is not good. Not just because fire is bad for cities, but because a piece of fire landed on the roof of the city's waterworks building.
Oh, Jesus.
Within a matter of minutes, the waterworks building was now destroyed. The city was without any water. There was nothing to do but play the fiddle and watch it all burn. MAGA!
And I'm assuming everybody was like, all right, well, it can't get any worse than that, right? But then a flame tornado picked up a volcano and dropped it on a train that was carrying the world's largest bellows, and it just started blowing. Everybody's like, okay, that's actually pretty funny. Like, that's pretty funny.
All the people in the magnesium factory just sit down and start singing Kumbaya. Fine.
The reincarnated guys from the boat with their cork life vests are just like, I gotta stop being reincarnated. This is not heavy.
All right, so the firefighters were helpless now. No, wait, more helpless now. And the city had just burned, block by block, building by building. The fire burned unchecked until late into the evening on October the 9th, when it began to rain. But by this time, the city was just destroyed.
For Chicago.
Means a lot.
The fire had basically begun to burn itself out, having consumed the entirety of the densely populated areas of the city and then just giving up, pretty much.
Giving up. City's chatting with its friends a year or so after it get engaged with the fire, and it's like, ever since it moved in, it's gotten huge. It's enormous.
Well, maybe if the city put in a little bit of effort.
After the fire, people began to speculate about what could have allowed such an enormous tragedy to occur. Now, religious idiots opined that the fire was caused by people ignoring traditional morality, and they claimed that the fire was a message from God to have some basic fucking standards. Many others, who considered which lessons were to be learned, agreed that we needed some standards, but thought that perhaps one of those standards should be, don't build a city out of wooden matches.
Right. Yeah. Right. So remember, boys and girls, when politicians start promising to cut regulations, we should ask which ones.
Noah's just mad because I invested heavily in asbestos this week. I bought a house full of it.
Yeah, right.
Double down. Now, in a gesture of goodwill that I genuinely cannot imagine happening now, the world reacted by sending tremendous amounts of aid to the city. In addition to huge amounts of financial aid, cities across the world sent food and clothing and books and other provisions, and immediate steps were taken by local churches and city aldermen to control price gouging. Public buildings were set up as places of refuge for the city's many newly homeless, and Milwaukee, no shit, sent firefighting equipment. And I can only imagine giant inflatable middle fingers.
Just truckloads of big black rubber dicks with fire extinguishers inside. Here, idiots.
They're digging through the dicks. They find one cow-proof lantern in there.
Seriously, though, you're packing up a box for the cause, and you're like, do we send matches? Is that a dick move? Because I feel like they need them.
Right. Yeah.
And they don't have them.
They need gasoline, too. But that feels, again, maybe sippy cups that can't tip over with the gasoline.
Yes.
They're idiots.
Yeah, they're going to drink it.
They're going to drink it.
They're going to drink it. I'm a dragon still.
So the city began to rewrite its fire codes and its insurance regulations, and they decided that now would be a good time to better train its firefighting force, right? Buildings in the burnt-out area of the city were reconstructed in ways that were less stupid, although areas of the city that hadn't been incinerated were not required to be up to the new building codes. More on that later.
I bet. All right, so Tom, when do they plan on rebuilding the city?
Well, the rebuilding of Chicago was a massive... Ouch!
He was going so quick, I thought you guys were going to miss that
I
one.
I'm on their side. Boo.
Hey, guys, just to make it clear here, I'm from Detroit, so if you want to get me back, it's going to be fucking easy.
Ouch.
We have our own Detroit. It's like 20 blocks west.
The rebuilding of Chicago was a massive undertaking, and so much lumber was required to rebuild that the city of Singapore, Michigan, which supplied a large portion of that wood, was so heavily deforested that the land itself deteriorated into sand dunes, and the city of Singapore, Michigan, had to be abandoned.
Jesus. And speaking of abandoning places in Michigan, so you guys know where I'm going with this? But okay, be honest, Chicago, just us here. You guys, you sold those pipes to Flint, Michigan, right? You paid for your new water system with those pipes?
I have to say, though, honestly, being reduced to sand dunes in the 19th century would have been the best thing that ever happened to Flint. or Michigan at large, for that matter, honestly.
Not untrue. Interestingly, 3 other major fires occurred on the same day in the Midwest. The largest of these, the Peshtigo Fire in Peshtigo, Wisconsin, completely consumed the town of Peshtigo. I just want to say Peshtigo. Peshtigo. Whatever. It can't be there anymore.
Nobody
I don't even
cares.
care. I don't care.
He's right.
Along with a dozen smaller villages, right? This fire, started intentionally to clear a portion of forest for farming and construction, was fanned by strong winds that quickly produced a firestorm with winds of 110 miles an hour and a fire that raged over 2,000 degrees. Fire whirls from that fire threw houses and rail cars into the air and drove residents into the river, wells, and other bodies of water where they drowned or died of hypothermia or irony. It's not clear to be one then the other.
Dive in there. Oh man, is this well full of kerosene? Motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here. That's pretty funny. This is a funny day. It's a funny day.
Surprised there were no religious zealots blaming the fire on the trees for immorally spreading their seed everywhere. You know?
So that fire consumed an area of 1,875 square miles. That is an area larger than Rhode Island. It destroyed 12 communities, and it killed so many people that in the town of Peshtigo, whatever, there weren't even enough survivors left to identify the dead.
Wow.
That fire remains the deadliest fire in American history, and it may be the only reason that fire wasn't better known at the time was because the devastation that it wrought was so complete, it consumed all the communication lines in and out of the area, cutting survivors off from the rest of the world entirely.
Or, another theory, no one has ever given a shit about Wisconsin. Also. All right, I want him back! I had to shit on Michigan and Wisconsin, but I got him back.
But you know, there was one guy who escaped Chicago to go to Peshtigo, right? Like, statistically, that had to happen. Some guy showed up, covered, and he's like, and everything's a husk. It's me, right? It's me. Bursts into flame.
The lesser tragedy really does always go unreported, though. If on Trump's inauguration day, 600 million kids died of childhood face cancer, no one would mention the kids.
It only looked like a few kids with face cancer, but it's just the white plastic. You
Right.
couldn't see them all.
Amplifies them.
I had more face cancer kids than Obama. It's the white plastic.
All right, also consumed by fire during the same few days in the same fucking area around the lake, Holland, Michigan, Port Huron, Michigan, and Manistee, Michigan. Fuck you, Michigan.
Yeah, take that, Michigan.
Still true. The Great Chicago Fire burned so hot that a full survey of the extent of the damage was impossible for days after the fire was out. The fire itself consumed an area 4 miles long and approximately 3/4 of a mile wide. The fire destroyed 73 miles of roads, 17,500 buildings. It left 100,000 people homeless.
But, to be fair, this was Chicago, so 90,000 of them were already homeless.
We didn't care then, we don't care now. The number of actual dead is difficult to measure. The city coroner speculated that the fire was so hot that the remains may have been completely incinerated, and many were thought to have drowned after attempting to flee to the safety of the river. The damage in today's dollars would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 billion.
Yeah, and they estimated that 300 were killed in the fire. That's about a tenth of the amount of shooting victims here. I'm just saying, when you leave the theater, check your six.
Buy a bunch of our t-shirts. They could save your life like a pocket Bible.
This is my favorite part. The city caught on fire again. Just 3 years later in 1874, killing 20 more people, destroying 812 more buildings, and reducing another 47 acres of Chicago to ash.
Jesus.
No, it's because it's hard to vote out the incumbent here. That's why. That's why.
Insurance companies finally refused to underwrite policies in the city if the entire city didn't decide to conform to the same fucking fire code. This fixed the problem because money is magic.
Right. All right, so Tom, if you had to summarize everything that you've learned in a single sentence, what would it be?
That the history of not learning our lessons is a proud Chicago tradition.
All right, Tom, now are you ready to burn through a couple questions from the panel?
Fire away.
Oh, see, get it? Fire away.
All right, Tom, which of the following is another true fact about Chicago? A, the Chicago River is one of the only rivers that flows backwards, kind of like the time dimension at Pequod's Pizza. B, Chicago is the home of America's first blood bank, which opened in 1937, and the Chicago PD has been keeping it well stocked ever since.
Yes.
Or C, I actually love it here. There's so much meat. I've been eating so much goddamn meat. I've been sweating since Wednesday. It's been delightful. And Eli's allergic to the air almost.
All right, Tom. Obviously, a lot of lessons were learned from the Chicago fire.
Do you want to guess about my
You
question?
want to guess before Eli jumps in and maybe
Can I answer
ruins
the question?
entire episode?
Questions
Moving
have
forward.
answers. It's like a whole thing that they do. It's obviously the meat situation.
It's the meat situation,
Eli
correct.
jumped the gun.
Right.
It's fine. Protein.
All right, Tom. In the edit, that's gold.
Nailed the cue there, man.
Fucking brilliant.
Man.
Obviously, lots of lessons were learned from the Chicago fire, and lots of policies were put in place at that time. What are some of them that are still around today? A, rooting for White Sox over Red Sox. B, making sure nothing black is allowed inside city limits.
Oh, God.
C, maintaining a river too poisonous for even fire to survive.
That's true, actually.
Or D, only having 3 weeks a year where it's not too cold for fire to exist, let alone spread.
It's the river. That thing is...
Oh.
No. That's a no.
Correct.
Whatever. I'm doing very well at this.
All right, Tom. Lots of great facts here. Which one did you leave out? If the Chicago fire moved as fast as Chicago traffic, it would have reached Wrigleyville yesterday morning. When the city planners heard conflagration, they thought they heard segregation. We had it ever since. So
Oh, no.
it's true. The Chicago fire killed way more people than are shot each year on the west side, which means that if you lit the west side on fire, it would literally be safer.
Oh, no.
Or D, throwback to Action Park, the Chicago fire actually accidentally kicked Heath in the stomach and he shit and puked at the same time. True story.
I think you're thinking of Pequod's Pizza.
that's
but yeah. Kill that man. Controversial. Security. I
Wow.
called you earlier for him.
It's got to be D. It's got to be D.
True.
All right, I got one
It
for
is.
you. I got a tough
Can
one for you here,
confirm.
Tom. After making fun of Chicago a few times in this episode, what's the best way for me to work my way back into the audience good graces before we do the second half of this doubleheader? A, complimenting their genitals.
Hey,
Early love for
nice genitals, people.
B.
Really?
Pandering to one of the city's many fine sports franchises, such as the Cubs, Bears, Bulls, White Sox, Blackhawks, Red Stars, Blue Demons, Green Sox. Jesus Christ, is this a fucking box of Lucky Charms or sports teams? or C, twerking.
Make this happen. Make this happen. Make it happen.
Do it.
Make this happen.
Twerk.
I'm not going to do it, but I appreciate the enthusiasm.
Damn it.
Or D, belatedly admitting that Chicago pizza is fucking awesome. Without smart-assedly adding at the end, it's just not pizza.
I feel like twerking was kind of a hard fan favorite. It was a fan favorite.
Oh, Tom. I was gonna twerk for you, but the show demands that he be wrong about this one. That's how this formula.
I fell
was
into
about
his trap.
to twerk, and he fucked it up.
Damn it.
Boo, I'm on their side, twerk, boo. There it is.
We got twerking for you.
Is that twerking now? What is?
I don't.
No.
All right, well, this is the part of the show where I announce that I'm the winner because I didn't have to twerk or see Eli from your angle. And that means that I get to choose who does the essay in the second half of our doubleheader tonight, and I choose Tom because you fucking killed it.
And I wrote it.
Right?
Well, that too.
Me.
All right, well, for Cecil, Eli, Heath, and Tom, I'm thanking you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week, and by then, Tom will be an expert on something else. Between now and then, you can hear more from Tom and Cecil on the Cognitive Dissonance podcast and conversing loudly in places that serve overpriced scotch, or regularly priced scotch. You can also hear more from Heath, Eli, and me over at The Scathing Atheist, The Skeptocrat, and God Awful Movies because we work 3 times as hard as they do. I'm just kidding. Skeptocrat is bi-weekly, so it's only 2.5 times as hard. And if you'd like to help keep this show going, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod or leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, check out past episodes, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes, be sure to check out citationpod.com.